Come over here.
So we're gonna sign the agreements between the National Park Service and 6 of our wonderful partners here at St. Genevieve. And then we're gonna have some comments, and we're gonna have a few more photo opportunities. I know that folks from the media want to talk to folks. And then both the senator and the congressman have to leave for Senator McCain's hearing. Okay? The first person I would like to invite up is Sarah Menard she's the president of the Foundation for Restoration of St. Genevieve. And we really want to thank the Foundation for the Restoration of St. Genevieve and Mr.
Al Kaiser.
Al Kaiser, Mr. Kaiser, for the use of this fabulous historic desk. Do you have the right one? Good.
Yeah.
Here are the towns.
Another sign over here. No, that's not easy.
It's very warm.
I'll trade. It's a big secret.
These are brand new pens, so take the tip off if it's in the way.
If you haven't figured that out,
Even better.
Here's an extra.
Nice with that one. Nice new pen.
You a lefty, Congressman?
stand up straight.
You're talking to me?
I was talking about that.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you. Just leave them on the desk.
Okay.
And this was which group?
This was the Foundation of the Restoration of St. Genevieve. I'd like to invite Hank Johnson up, who is the owner of the, Beckett Rabot House.
They come to that here.
Would be more exciting.
Why one group?
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Dumb.
Thank you. This is Christy James. I'd like to invite you up, please. She's the president of the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America in the state of Missouri.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
It will be. You are phenomenal.
Say that in a week, month.
Sweet. Are you bringing back some stuff to go to the
You have to have some standards.
Yeah.
Now, do I have to date it?
Yeah, you did. Probably 3118.
So Charlie, the big common field there, split it up, divide it up. The teal, you still live in
Right.
town.
Fantastic.
Or whatever you put on your part of the field.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I would like to invite Mayor Paul Hassler. He is the mayor of the city of St. Genevieve.
Yes, ma'am. This is a great table. All right. Couple more.
There you go. Once the breeze started, it got a lot better. all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
Senator, you were at the arch dedication, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty warm there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you should have worn your
Appreciate you.
when you testified.
Alex?
Yes. All right. Thank you. I'd like to invite Gary Nelson, the presiding commissioner of St. Genevieve County, up next.
Thank you for all your support. Charlie Blunt.
Gary, good to see you. Yeah. He should.
It's a moment that should be captured.
Yes, sir.
I understand still. Still training six. It's a lot of management. Doing good. No, something comes and goes.
831, 18.
What is it?
831, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. 831. Wait, 731. That's the last one now?
Yep.
All right, one more after this. Here, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Gary, you've been great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect.
Next, I'd like to invite Mike Sutherland. He's the Deputy Director of the Missouri State Parks, but I'd also like to invite Donna and Brian to come up, because without them, we wouldn't have the support to make this go.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh,
The best of all of us.
Oh, wow. Can you teach me how to do that?
sign
good.
a lot of graduation.
Thank
Thanks
you
a lot.
very much. That is everyone who is signing today as a partner with the National Park Service. This is just the first step. I'd like to invite Senator Blunt and Congressman Smith to come up and make remarks, and Regional Director for a few more weeks, Cam Shawley.
Well, good. We'll get closer to the shade here if I do this just right. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody who signed these documents and the people that they represent. Nothing that the federal government's ever involved in seems like it goes very fast, but by federal standards, this has been an incredibly fast process. We had Tim Good, who saw from a federal perspective what kind of partner the federal government could be. We saw our friends at the state Park Service, the state DNR, want to step up and try to find the best way to preserve and make available the property that they thought was so important. And in every one of the groups that signed today, a similar view of that. Certainly, we've benefited from having Cam Shawley, who's going to come up here in a minute, as the regional director. He's taking soon what may be the most difficult and probably the most coveted job in the Park Service, running Yellowstone National Park, and we are going to miss him. But we have been lucky to have him here, and between now and the last day, he is our regional director. We're going to try to get just as much of this done as we possibly can. And he's been a willing assistant in understanding the importance of this, and the importance of the country as well as the importance of the community. You know, the more the St. Genevieve story is widely told, the more people are going to want to come and see it and be part of it and experience it. And so to everybody involved, and particularly to Jason Smith, who particularly on both sides of the building, accepting more obligations for the federal government is a hard thing to get done. And from the Park Service, I've asked them to look at a number of things over the years. This is the first thing I've ever asked them to look at that they said, yes, we would like to have that. And they may change their mind at some point in the future, so we need to get as much of this done as they can while that's still the mindset. This is going to be an important day in the history of St. Genevieve and our state, but also an important day in preserving and making available and putting the resources necessary behind this important part of our history. Glad Charlie Blunt could be here with me today. I'm glad Jason Smith is here, and Cam Shawley and Tim Good and all of you. And so thanks to everybody for what you've done to make this happen. Jason?
What I'd like to add to that, this is a process that, from a federal perspective, that started out by many congressmen ago, and that was Bill Emerson. So that tells you that's over 20 years ago that my predecessor that helped with this vision with the local community here in St. Gen. But I have to tell you that working it through the federal level, you can't have a better partner than what I had over on the other side of the building with Senator Blunt. When a lot of senators aren't so freely accessible at negotiating and getting items within big pieces of legislation, our senator was able to do it. And we were able to pass it out of the House. We had the mayor and a lot of great folks from the community come up and showcase what we all know here in St. Genevieve, what we all love and what the rest of the world's going to see. But Senator Blunt helped get it delivered over on the United States Senate. And it's amazing for it to happen this quick. Even though we know that it's been going on since Bill Emerson's day. But literally when you put the legislation to the paper in DC, it happened quickly. So I'm happy to be here. I want to thank Cam for, you have been the premier leader for the Park Service to work with, and we're glad to get this jump started. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and your support. And thank you, sir. It's been a privilege to work on this project. This has been a lot of projects. The Midwest region spans 13 states and 61 units of the National Park System. And between the Arch Project and this project, we spent a lot of time in Missouri, and we love that. And a lot of that's because of you. The people in Missouri want to get things done. They understand the value of working together in partnerships. I said this last month when we were here. Our commitment to civic engagement is based largely on the principle that in order to manage effectively, we've got to do it in concert with one another. We can't do it alone. Partnering is one of our most important institutional responsibilities. These agreements are important from a couple perspectives, and we talked a little bit about it last month for those of you that attended. As part of the authorizing legislation for St. Genevieve, it required that the Park Service acquire a sufficient amount of property to constitute a manageable unit, one, and two, that the partnership framework agreements be in place. And when those two things are accomplished, it can become a fully designated national park unit. So this checks the box from the agreement's perspective. And so it's important from that standpoint to comply with the legislation. And we're going to continue to work on the acquisition components and looking at building a vision with all of you to figure out how we can best work together and best complement and enhance what you all are doing here. But the other part of this I think is more important, is these agreements signify our continued commitment to do great things together in the future. And that's important to us. And there are a lot of perspectives. This is my second time down. I wish I would have come down earlier. This is an incredible place. There are a lot of perspectives on how things should be, what we should be doing. Some people think we should be doing a lot of this and others a lot of that. We're going to find balance. We're going to work with you. We're going to listen. Tim, where's Tim? Right here. You know, Tim is a great listener, and he executes well. And he understands the value of this place historically, economically, and otherwise. And we're going to find balance in decision-making here and do what's right in the best interest. And like I said, most importantly, enhance and complement the great work that you've already done here. And that's the way we're going to approach it. So we look forward to continuing to work with you on a vision for the future. I'm privileged. This is one of my last projects as the Regional Director of the Midwest before I move on. But can't say enough about your support and how great I think this place will be in the future. So thank you very much.
So, thank you for everyone for coming out and sweating along with the oldies here. Enjoy the Amaro House. It'll be open until 2 today.
Where's your hat?
That way they know to center on either me or his hat, either hat.
And then he's got this cute little
When we go up,
pancake.
Okay, next signatory, please.
they're gonna have us come up here for pictures.
Everyone except for Sarah.
Well, I mean, Mimi, I think it's fine. I'll make sure they know.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my. So, I'm looking for this. Yeah, but you know, you sweat.
And if you guys don't mind, can you please pivot this way? Pivot? You guys, hi, bud. Tim, come over. There you go. Thank you. I'm sorry, we were getting trucks. We weren't getting the house. We want the house. Okay. So I'm the center.
We're still not getting the house.
Toby, you and me, we should be together.
Are you wanting the house in the background? It's cars in the background.
Yeah, we want house in the background.
Okay, then we need to swing this way.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do. All right, ready?
How about this?
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Next signatory.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I apologize to anyone I'm sweating on their papers. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Here you are.
Do you have the wine ready to go out?
Yeah. And Tim, you should really be by here, but whatever.
You gave us the wine.
Okay, people behind you real quick. Can y'all come off the patio, please? Come off the patio, let us get these photos. Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you. All right. Mrs. Christie, James, here. And whoever else you want to invite up. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
All right, good.
Thank you for being such a good sport. Real sorry. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more, sorry. Perfect. And 2 left, 2 left. Gary Nelson, please. Gary Nelson. Sure. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I got the sign.
The best thing I see is
Beautiful. Last one. Last one. All right, Mike Sutherland. You bet. Anything that- It's your photo. We're doing this for y'all. I'm just waiting for them to get set. Yeah, you guys get in however you, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I just want to compliment the community for their strong support for the National Park Service and for preserving American history. This has really been a remarkable 10 years watching the Park Service study process mature. And this was one of the most critical aspects of that process because the legislation required the Park Service to enter into agreements with those preserving the history of St. Genevieve. So today we were able to sign agreements with 6 different organizations that have a history of American preservation here in St. Genevieve and remain committed to working with the National Park Service for future historic preservation. Is that good? My pleasure.